Well, hello everybody. Welcome to P.B.M Money. Well, I wasn't going to come on today because my voice is not what I want it to be, but I got so excited for next year's game that I couldn't let today go by without getting it down and recorded. Now let me run through why next year is so important. Since we've started this game, and I want to refresh your memory for those of you that have been with me, our first game was how fast can we save $1,000 on our credit card, remember? This year, and I have not changed jobs, and make $1 an hour more, and this year we're going to save around $40,000 in cash. We've learned a lot. We've come a long way. Next year is a major milestone. We're going to buy our house with cash. And then we're one step away from buying our condo. And that's what this whole game has been about. So I wanted next year to be something a little bit more special than just saving money, and I couldn't come up with it. I mean, there's a lot of things I'd like to have done, but, I wanted something that I could get done, but no matter how much you thought about it, at the end of the year, it would be a wow year. I'm looking for a wow year. And so the only thing I could do is pray and wait. And that's what I did. And first off, I would like to give a shout out to Graham Stephan. Because of something that he says all the time, and it finally clicked. When he thinks about the income from his properties, he does not think of it as income. He thinks of it as, this will pay for my car, this will pay for my house, this will pay for sushi. And I never really understood that. In my mind, what I was thinking is, he just takes the money, puts it in a big pot, and has his accountant write him a check every month, one from each property. It was more of a viewpoint thing than a real point thing. Okay, so I'm sitting around, back up a little bit. This last year, I just did a video about our game for this year. And we bought our last little rental property based on my income to debt ratio because the bank is going to shut me down. So we bought 3 little houses and we've made good use of them. So I was just sitting around the other day brainstorming, and I thought, I wonder, because the only debt that I really have outstanding is floating credit card, because I pay them off every month, that haven't landed on my statement yet, and my car. That's the only debt I've got left. So I started thinking about it, and I thought, well, if I got my car paid off, that'd be, $250 a month. That might free up some space on my income to debt ratio. That's about what I paid for a mortgage payment on one of my income properties if I put 20% down. Well, before interest rates went up anyway. So maybe I need to concentrate on getting my car paid. I thought, well, there's no way I can do that. I don't have enough room. So it's something kept gnawing at me, telling me that's what I needed to do. Now, for those of you that were with me early part of the year, I went and got a personal loan at a credit union for $1,500, and I put $500 in savings account for each rental property, and had each rental property make the monthly payment on it. And I did that because the same reason we used to do it in the ministry, each month you get a little bit of cash from each one, but not enough to really matter, not enough to start something special. I mean, if I wanted to, I could. But I was playing it conservative. And then it just so happened that I had my bank sheets in front of me from doing the video. And I noticed that we've got about $10,000 or $12,000 in our emergency savings account for our 3 properties. So that puts us at around for somewhere between $4,000 and $5,000 per property. Now, our goal is $10,000, but $3,000 to $4,000 per property is not bad. And I thought, wow, I guess I never really paid attention. I mean, I fill the numbers out every month. I check on them every month. I write the checks every month, but I just never paid attention. I thought, okay, so let's assume for a minute that cash flow is available. What could I do with that? And it also just happened that I had gotten my statement from my credit union telling me what my balance was on my automobile, and I had thrown it away a day before, and I couldn't find it. But I'm pretty sure it was just under $9,000. So I thought, okay, well, let's think about that for a few minutes. So I sat down and ran some numbers, and it looks like, now this is going to be very risky in my mind. And I've been praying about it, and I think this is the way we're going to go. Because I think God wants that car paid off so that the next year for the condo, I've got just enough room on my income to debt ratio after we buy our little house and get some cash in the bank. So I spent the day and the evening last night trying to work out the best way to do that. And I think I've come up with it. Because each one has a different mortgage payment. And I think I've told everybody, every time I buy a rental house, I open a separate checking and savings account because it helps with my accounting, and you're supposed to. So each property I had to go through there and write the number of checks that I could come up with each month. And rather than make it weighted, I made it percentage equal. So if I had one house that had large cash flow, that one got a little bit more that it had to write a check for. If it had less cash flow, a little bit less that it had to write a check for. And what I come up with was this. If we take the cash flow from those 3 properties and we divide the debt up on my car between the 3 properties, we will not be able to pay the house off. However, if I continue to make my payments out of my account, and then take the difference and apply towards each 3 properties. So that every month I'm writing 1 check out of my account, just like I'm doing now, and then I'm writing 3 additional checks, 1 from each property, to the credit union, and in those 3 checks, each month I will write a note that says, please subtract from principal only, no interest on my loan. Now, why is it risky? Well, if I have a problem with one of the properties, a major problem, I've only got $12,000 sitting there to handle the problem. However, I feel like this is the right thing to do. I feel like God's got his hand on it. And one of the things that I was very careful to do with each property, and my realtor watched over me to make sure, is that each house I bought had good guts in it. Good roof, good windows, good heating and air, good plumbing, that kind of thing. So if it's a problem, it's going to be a big problem. But I'm hoping if we can skate by for 12 months with no major problem, the payoff will be huge. We'll have a car paid off, we'll have money in the bank, and we'll be able to buy our little house. So the new game for next year, barring the fact that I might have misheard God or he changes it, we're going to have 3 parts to our game next year. And if we hit it, it's going to be a wow year. And even if we don't, it's going to be a wow year. Just wow. And in order for me to do all of this, God has got to be in charge. Because when you hear what we have to get done, you're going to be like, wow. Now, I told you earlier we were going to be around $40,000 this year. The game last year was 14 months. God told me to try to do in 12 months what we did in 14 months this year. So that means just to hit the same goal, and I thought we did a great job. We had a super year this year, but God wants us to have a super year next year, and not just with the money, but he wants me to pay off a $9,000 car. And the third part of the game is we're going to go buy a $50,000 or $60,000 rental house in cash. All in 1 year. Wow. I don't know that could be done. I mean, all things are possible through him. So if it's from him, he's going to make it happen. I have no idea how that's going to happen. But in order to stay on schedule, those 3 things are going to have to happen. So today, in the month of October, in the middle of October, I'm announcing the 3 goals for our game for 2023. Number 1, to have the same amount of cash saved over the year that we did this year, which is going to be roughly around $40,000. That's number 1. Number 2, have my $9,000 car paid off with our properties. And number 3, this is the year we go buy our rental house for cash. Wow, that's aggressive. That is very, very aggressive. And the only way that's ever going to happen is if God is involved in the middle of it. That is way too much for me to ever get done. And by the way, I am still making $14 or $15 an hour. Dang. All right. Well, I couldn't wait to get on and tell you what happened, how we got here, and what the game is for next year. Now I just gotta pray about it and make sure that we're doing the right thing. So you guys have a great day, a great week, and by the way, join us for next year because we're going to have a heck of a year next year. On top of a heck of a year this year. So get your goals together and join us next year, and maybe we can give each other clues on how to get there. Have a great day, a great week, and happy investing.